The bell above the coffee shop door chimed. It was Mark. His hair endearingly messy from sleep, a familiar sight. He offered a small wave, his eyes crinkling at the corners in that way that always made her smile. Mark, like clockwork, would arrive at 8:15, grab his usual black coffee and croissant, and disappear into his laptop for the next hour. It had been their unspoken ritual for months now. Sarah, a budding artist, found comfort in the predictability of it all. The gentle hum of the coffee machine, the scent of freshly baked pastries, and Mark, a silent fixture across the room, his presence oddly comforting. She'd steal glances at him as she worked on her sketches, his focused brow, the way his fingers flew across the keyboard. He was an enigma she was slowly starting to decipher. This morning, however, was different. A sudden burst of inspiration struck Sarah. She found herself reaching for her charcoal pencil, her gaze lingering on Mark, the way the morning light danced on his hair, the slight furrow in his brow as he read something on his laptop. It was all too perfect to resist. Her fingers moved instinctively, capturing his essence on paper. She worked quickly, subtly, afraid that if Mark caught her, the moment, like a fragile butterfly, would take flight. There was a certain intimacy in sketching someone unaware, a silent conversation between the artist and the muse. The charcoal glided smoothly across the rough texture of her sketchbook. With each stroke, she felt a strange sense of connection to Mark. It was as if she were tracing the contours of his personality, not just his features. She captured the way his hair fell slightly over his forehead, the way he chewed on his bottom lip when he was concentrating. There was a quiet intensity about him that drew her in.
Why do I feel so compelled to draw him? Maybe it's the way he seems so lost in his own world, oblivious to everything around him. Or maybe it's the way his face lights up with a smile whenever he glances up from his laptop.
Whatever it was, Sarah found herself captivated. She sketched until her hand ached, her charcoal pencil a blur of motion. When she finally looked up, she realized that her coffee had gone cold, and the coffee shop was nearly empty. She had been so engrossed in her drawing that she hadn't noticed the time passing. She glanced across the room and saw that Mark was packing up his things. He caught her eye and smiled, a brief but genuine smile that made her heart skip a beat. He slung his backpack over his shoulder and headed for the door.
Hey, wait!
Mark turned, surprised. It was the first time they'd spoken.
I love your shirt.
It wasn't the most eloquent opening line, but it was all she could manage.
Oh, thanks, it's ancient.
And just